starting now. This is your local news leader. News 10 ABC in the morning.
Expanding vaccine eligibility once again in New York State. The group that can now make the appointments. This as some pharmacies feel they're not being used to their full potential.
Investigation underway after 10 people were killed in a store shooting in Boulder, Colorado. The message coming from officials on the ground there.
Plus, getting ready for their first ticketed event since the pandemic began. The COVID testing option the Times Union Center is offering for ticket holders of Saturday's NCAA hockey tournament. It's nice to see some of these events happening.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us this morning. How about this weather we're having?
Love it.
Let's keep it.
Yeah, it makes my job really easy when I get to tell you about sunshine and warm temperatures, right?
Tequila sunrise, too.
Yeah. Oh, it looks beautiful out there. And over the next 30 minutes or so, it's only going to get better. So here's an early look at that sunrise this morning. Has all the pretty shades of a yellow, orange, even a little bit of red closer to the horizon this morning. This is a live look in Glens Falls with our Queensbury Hotel camera, where, of course, the sunrise just getting started this morning. And we have plenty more sunshine to come as we go through the course of your Tuesday. Terrific start to the day, and it's just going to keep on going. There is a little bit of a chill in the air for some folks. You're starting off at 26 in Glens Falls. Also, the mid-20s in North Creek into Lake Pleasant, Saratoga. You're coming in at 25 right now. 26 in North Adams, also for Great Barrington. Meanwhile, it's about 10 degrees warmer here in Albany as things have stayed very mild here in the immediate Capital District. 36 as you're heading out the door this morning. Going forward, sunshine's going to help to warm us up. By lunchtime, we'll already be running in the lower 60s. Highs today max out mid to even upper 60s. Certainly a beautiful day. We have more spring weather to come this week. I'll have more details and one more check of your Storm Tracker forecast. Mary.
Can't wait to get out there again today. Thank you, Jill. It's going to check your traffic this morning as we just tick past 6:30. Things are still looking good. We're problem-free out there. We do have a construction project on the Northway happening right now, and this is southbound between exit 8 and the Twin Bridges. Right now, just one left lane is closed for that road work, but traffic still appears to be moving just fine in that area. We're at 67 miles per hour. Checking in now with 787 at exit 5 to I-90. Traffic moving at 65 miles per hour. And let's go straight out to one of our DOT traffic cameras, which brings us back to the Twin Bridges, just north of the Twins, where we saw that traffic was moving at more than 65 miles per hour. We do see that volume increasing here on the Northway, but it looks like smooth sailing in both directions. Let's go to our drive times now. That Northway commute is staying steady at 20 minutes. Rensselaer County commute, a 6-minute drive, 6 minutes for your thruway commute as well. Be sure to download our free News 10 ABC app. We have all your top stories on there, as well as a check of those traffic maps when you need them.
New this morning, we're expecting an update from law enforcement after 10 people were killed in a shooting at a Boulder, Colorado supermarket. Among those killed, Officer Eric Talley, who was the first on the scene there yesterday.
I promise the victims and the people of the state of Colorado that we will secure justice. A painstaking investigation is already underway, both at the crime scene and in interviews.
One person of interest who was injured has been taken into custody. There's no active threat right now. A press conference with the Boulder Police Department scheduled for later this morning. Make sure you stay with News 10 ABC on air and online for the latest. All right, now more on the race to vaccinate. Starting today, those age 50 and over eligible for their COVID vaccine as well. Governor Cuomo saying this was made possible by what is now a more steady supply of vaccine coming into the state of New York.
So open up that eligibility. Juliana Bruno live outside the state capitol this morning. And Juliana, just under 2 hours now until that group can start making that appointment.
That's right, Ryan and Christina, about an hour and a half to go until those ages 50 and above can start making their appointments to get vaccinated. I took a look at New York State's vaccination site website, and it says that there are appointments available as of now at several of those locations across the state. Governor Cuomo has previously said that the state is working to meet President Biden's directive that all adults be eligible to receive their vaccine by May 1st. Reporting live in Albany, Juliana Bruno, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, Juliana. And even though the expanded eligibility includes all adults 50 and over, pharmacies can still only vaccinate those 60 and up, people with underlying conditions, and teachers. And some pharmacists say drugstores aren't being used to their full potential. In Albany's underserved South End neighborhood, Lincoln Pharmacy is the closest daily vaccination site for many in the area. And a pharmacist there says they could be doing more to help the community.
State-run and county-run sites can vaccinate anyone that's eligible, and we're still in this one small lane. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to vaccinate an essential worker that works, like for city sanitation.
The governor says Black New Yorkers have not been vaccinated at the same rate as white residents. They're also more likely to be essential workers and to have comorbidities. A group of state lawmakers have called on Governor Cuomo to allow pharmacies to vaccinate all eligible residents, saying that they want to, quote, simplify vaccination access and eliminate unnecessary barriers for patients and providers.
And what's the state vaccination progress look like so far? Well, here's the latest information from the vaccine tracker. More than 5 million people now statewide have received the first dose of the vaccine. That's a little more than 26% of the state population. Locally, Albany County continues to lead the way with the most first doses administered at more than 100,000 now, followed by Saratoga, Schenectady, and Rensselaer counties.
The Times-Union Center preparing to host its first ticketed event since the start of the pandemic. The NCAA men's hockey tournament kicks off this Saturday, but anyone who wants to attend will have to get a negative PCR test before going. The TU Center offering COVID tests for fans tomorrow from 7 in the morning until 3 p.m. And the test will cost you $40. The Times-Union Center says fans can also get PCR tests done on their own. Meanwhile, the Albany Empire season is supposed to kick off in exactly 2 months from now, but it might not happen. Co-owner Ron Tradico telling News 10 the season is very much in jeopardy. They can only move forward if the capacity limit at the Times-Union Center is increased from 10% to 25%. But they'd have to know by April 1st. And if that change is not made in the next few days, they'll pull the plug on 2021 and focus their efforts instead on 2022. He adds, quote, after that date, we would be hard-pressed to be able to put everything needed together for the season. If the 2021 season is canceled, fans who put a deposit down or purchased season tickets already would have the choice to get a full refund or roll their tickets over to next summer.
Well, resisting the urge to travel, that's what the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, is asking people to do just for a little while longer, citing surges in lockdowns happening now in Europe.
We just don't want to be at this rapid uptick of cases again, and that is very possible that could happen. We've seen that. We're behind the 8 ball when that starts to happen.
Dr. Walensky says much of the travel in the U.S. is spring break related right now. She says the CDC is working on new guidance for people who are fully vaccinated.
Happening today, the New York State Assembly holding a meeting to address impeachment proceedings against Governor Cuomo. That
committee meeting will introduce the lawyers from Davis, Polk, and Wardwell, who will conduct the investigation. That meeting expected to begin later this morning at 9.
News 10 will be there. We'll have more details for you throughout the day.
New York State budget is due next week, and Budget Director Robert Mujica says the state has enough money to eliminate all of the cuts proposed in the governor's executive budget. According to both the governor and Mujica, the budget could also pass without a tax increase for the wealthy or anyone else. Mujica also says the executive and legislative staffs are meeting 18 hours a day right now to negotiate that budget, get it in by the end of the month.
Happening in Albany today, a mass food distribution at 833 Broadway. Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Albany and the Regional Food Bank of Northeastern New York working with other local organizations to make the event possible. It begins at 9:30 this morning. As always, there will be drive-through lines and walk-up lines, and you're asked not to arrive early because of traffic concerns.
Scholarship fund now being set up in the name of a victim of a murder. It's a cold case out of Saratoga County. Police say 37-year-old Betty Conley was shot and killed while working the overnight shift, former Extramart on Route 67 in the town of Charlton. Her daughter Linda was 17 at the time. Betty went to Galway High School, and Linda and several supporters now have established the Betty Conley Memorial Scholarship. It will give graduating Galway students money to help fund college or vocational studies.
She'd want everyone who loved and cared about her to be happy and to have fulfilling lives. And so this is just a step to kind of get there. And everyone who's donating their money is going to make a difference in a young person's life. And because it's all going to that, no one's making any money on this. And so I think that she'd really like that.
Linda Conley is meeting with the school district today. The superintendent releasing a statement that reads in part, We are grateful to the Conley family for creating a scholarship in Betty's name, for turning their grief and frustration into something meaningful and positive.
6:39 right now. People struggling with seasonal affective disorder may start to feel better now that spring has arrived, especially when the weather's good, right? But the pandemic has put a toll on mental health as a whole, causing an increase in telehealth and apps. Doctors say seasonal affective disorder is most common in people who live further north of the equator, right before winter begins. A recent report from the CDC found that 41% of patients are struggling with mental health because of the pandemic. CDPHP has also seen a significant increase in people using mental health care services since the crisis began. They've partnered with Apt2Health to create an app so people can communicate with their doctor or therapist in between sessions.
So that as we think about the entire therapeutic process, be it, in telehealth visits that we do that are people first, face to face, that would be one way, but also in between for just things like reminders and encouragement or answering questions, that in-app messaging is also really, really important.
And doctors say seasonal affective disorder affects roughly 15 million people in the U.S.
6:40 right now on your Tuesday morning. Taking your family out to the ball game, a possibility once again.
At least for fans of the Tri-City Valley Cats, the capacity limit set for the Joe.
I'm Cassie Hudson, and coming up, we're heading to Waterville to serve up this week's Off the Beaten Path.
You're watching News 10 ABC, your local news leader, with Christina Arangio, Ryan Peterson, Mary Wilson, and meteorologist Jill Swed.